2
Kailangan
Thursdays
may ano
this
pa sa
month.
kailangan
Because I would like to help people and doesn't know what to do. You have to be aware because it's your privacy. It doesn't mean that because someone opened to you that I'm a victim of domestic abuse, you're free to share. There's so many things that you're not supposed to do.
Hindi ko dinala yung
So that is
GoPro ko kasi na ano.
domestic abuse education assistance. We have our education committee chair. We have 2 scholars in the United States, and we are only here for 2 years. We have 2 scholars in West Africa, 1 scholar in West Africa, and 2 scholars in
Nag-support din sila ng
and we
scholars.
just entered a memorandum of agreement or memorandum of understanding with the Filipino Association, Philippine American Society in Iowa, and we will be assisting educationally to assist the orphanages in the Philippines. And then we are also assisting the community with physical challenges, and when we say physical challenges, these are the people, they are on a wheelchair, they're on a bed because they couldn't work. So Global Inspiration donated $500 for the community with physical challenges. So who are the partners of Global Inspiration? Because we cannot do this without partners in some other countries. So in America, we have the Filipino American Society in Iowa, that is the USA. The Regeneration International, which is in the Philippines, this is a shelter of human trafficking. The School Sisters of Notre Dame, that is in Nigeria, West Africa. And again, we have a scholar there. And the Child Faith of Dreams Students of the Philippines, we also have, that is an orphanage, and we also have 2 scholars there. Now, what's next? So, what are we expecting tonight?
To have fun, right?
Life is what we make it, right? If you want to smile, you can smile. If you think that it's not happy, it's not fun, it's not.
Yeah. So for today's event, we have drawings for the food donation. So if you brought some items to donate, you should have received a ticket, and you would have been entered for a drawing later on today. And then if you are interested in buying more tickets, there will be the red ticket. You can get it from at the Tony over there. Each ticket are $1, but you can do 6 tickets for $5. So $5. Alright, we will also have 50-50 drawings as well. We will have raffle drawings, and like I said, we're going to have fun today, so we're going to have games, singing, and of course, because we're Filipinos, right, we love singing, and then dancing. So, like I said, we're going to have fun tonight. Don't leave early. You're going to witness all those steps of singing and dancing to us across the day.
Okay, thank you very much, Gloria. And this year, I discussed with the Social Services Committee, and we are partnering with Wanaki Food Pantry. So people are donating, and what is the reason? Because we want to donate to Wanaki Food Pantry, and we're so glad to have the Executive Director of Wanaki Food Pantry. Let's all welcome Kathy Goodrum.
Thanks for having me. I am not a Milwaukee native. I grew up in the suburbs of Milwaukee, and then I was in Janesville for a while, but we have been here 20 years. I did not know much about the food business at all. I was an elementary education teacher for a long time, so I love all these kids. I'm pointing them out because I did the first and second and fourth graders for many, many years. My first job was actually in Milwaukee. Capitol Drive, downtown, and then out in Janesville, and then here in Milwaukee. Just everything that I'm seeing here behind me is
Sophia, how old are you?
It's just
Not
becoming
Sophia.
a
She's
larger
1 year
and larger
old.
issue.
And
Not just
how
in
old are
Milwaukee,
you?
but in the entire world. And obviously we can't solve the entire world, but you can do bit by bit every day if we meet face to face.
I'm 5.
So, for our community, we have about 15 or 16,000 people.
We got
Different than
two-
Milwaukee,
we
Chicago,
got two
Madison. But
We
whatever
got 2
community
more
that
ones.
you're
We
in,
got 2 more ones
there
to
are
make
needs
5.
of all different kinds.
We got,
When I
we
give
got 2 more ones
speeches,
to
it's
make
about
5.
human
That's
connection.
too
That's
far,
my number
too
one, especially
far.
from an education background. There's no look, there's no
3,
label,
4,
there is no situation. We're all
five.
human beings, and we all have different stories. And mental health
6 is
right now is a
3,
massive
6 is
crisis
3,
that people
7
aren't
is
even
4,
aware
8 is
of all
5,
backgrounds and all money making.
9 is
Just
6,
asking those
10
questions of
is
people that you know
7.
is rarely make a difference. So obviously, like bigger donations and
10
the
is
bigger
7.
nonprofits are wonderful.
10
But
is
each
7.
person and what they do each day. So when I have someone come to my door, whether it's a friend, whether it's
11,
a pantry,
18.
it's not just hello, goodbye. It's taking those
12
5
is
or 10
9.
minutes and going
It's
deeper,
this.
and then it's going to be listening and
Play
referring
roll.
them to another location.
13 is
Different things really
10. Wait,
Right now,
10. It's going up to 49
it's
is
usually
100.
the bottom tier, unless
You're
you
missing
are
with the
really
ticket.
like
You're missing with
everything
the ticket.
is a struggle.
Ticket's
Rent
right here.
normally is number
You're
one.
missing with the ticket.
Utilities is number 2. Gas is 3. And then food is very personal. So usually that kind of comes at the end. We don't have the assistance to do some of the other helps. Our big education is to say if you can receive food, then that money can be put towards other things. So it's kind of rethinking. And then you can still have some of your budget for your own personal likes and dislikes of meals that you prepare. But if you can get your basics, you can save hundreds of dollars. So we have doubled how many people we serve in the last 2 years. And if you look on the news and all throughout the United States, food pantries have doubled in people in the last 2 years of living. And then globally, you have the war in Ukraine, you have the stuff going on in Gaza, you have supply chain, all of that affects everything. Whether it's, chairs and tables that you eat, is all of our supply is a global.
Get down the
Quite honestly, right now, like
Get me.
community action
Get me.
coalition here,
Kenny, I
they're
hear.
doing their best, but
Get
they're struggling to get enough products because the demand is getting really high. So then what's happening on food pantries is we're getting whatever we can, because that's usually a free food collection, but it may not be enough. So then
I see you. I see you.
monetary. So then that money that comes in, then we can buy additional
I
food
see you.
to service the needs of your community. So yes, there is government, but because the need is higher, it is a challenge for them to get enough. Right now, Second Harvest is struggling. All of a sudden, like our meat choices are like very limited. And when it goes out on the queue to order, it's like gone super quickly. Meat is something super expensive, same with milk, same with eggs, and those are the really important items. So that can switch a lot of food pantries if that is no longer available. So far it is, but it is becoming a harder struggle. So then our budget would need, those would be the items we would go for first, versus maybe some of the non-perishable items that are nice on your shelf, but your bigger ticketed milk, eggs, meat, bread, fresh fruits, vegetables, and then your canned good items after that. We are a drive-up pantry still. A lot of communities are, even though a lot of COVID has slowly come out of it. It's good and it's bad. It's good because it's much more efficient. So you can go in and out quickly. Weather here is gorgeous today, but you never know. You don't have to get out of your car. So if you have a disability, if you have kids in your car, you just keep going through the line and you're out. So because we're a smaller community, it's 10 or 15 minutes and the process is done. In a larger community, it could take a little longer. But if you go in and shop, you have that personal connection. It could be an hour and a half, 2 hours, because you have to take a number, you have to wait, and it's a long process. So we do everything by appointment. So I work with social workers, with churches, with the sheriff deputies, just everybody that's in the community needs to ask those questions. And then we're all aware of the social services that our community has to offer. If I'm only doing food, even though that's important, I'm not doing my job. So that's where, though, like I said, you're asking for and then there's different places through your schools, through your churches, through your different services, But then the education piece too is then the food, if you come more often, then you can maybe stretch some of that budget. So compared to an urban, we're still relatively small, but this is our 50th year of being a pantry here in Wanakee. You know, history of Wanakee, and I'm more from like the suburbs of the city, it was a very rural town. I mean, it still is, but compared to what it used to be, it has grown quite a bit. And then you're kind of connected with Madison. So we service about 50 families a week, 600 to 800 people. In Madison, it's probably 300 families a week, and then, you know, you're thousands of people. But for us, those numbers are unprecedented. And I think no matter where you are, it doesn't really matter, it's just, the numbers have just gone quite a bit higher. And the big reasons for that is if your job hasn't like matched the increase of the economy. A lot of people that we serve are working families, but all of a sudden now everything is costing more. They're saying, you know, if you have a family of 4, it could be like $25,000, $30,000 more a year just to, you know, have the same services for your family that was 5 years ago, you know, to afford that. So, you know, it could be, you know, a divorce, it could be a death of a loved one, it could be a medical reason where you're now, you know, having, you know, chemotherapy or something and you're out of work. It could be a disability, where you can be like in an accident, like a car accident, and you're, you know, on short disability. So there's just so many different things that may come up. That's why we're here to help. The thing that we're trying to do is that if you're donating money for food, if it's items that you like to eat, and I know we have all different price differences, but in general, okay, you know, somebody else would like to take that. And look at what they're collecting and what is the main needs of your community, like pantry. We can't take everything, we have a certain stock list, you know, but you don't want expired food in your shelf, so I wouldn't want to give that to somebody else unless it's within reason. Or, you know, if it's, like, you don't want to throw it away, but if it was like something that was a little like, ooh, you know, it was an interesting flavor, you know, maybe someone else would like it, but, you know, you just, like, we're all on the same playing field, so you want to treat everyone with the same kind of dignity and respect. So if you wouldn't eat it with somebody else, maybe, because there is cultural differences, but within general of just that kind of donation, of looking at the product that most people need, what is nutritious, what is going to help support a family, and then it's either monetary or product. And then in your community, we have connections with Quick Trip and Starbucks and our local grocery stores. So those are always helpful because there's so much waste with restaurants and grocery stores. And we do also have to have food safety, so we have more guidelines we have to follow. If we can freeze something right away when it hits deadline, you have